Thank you, buddy. What'd you say? Just stop it, man. Stop it. Well, good morning, church. I felt like yesterday was like I was praying with them. I was like, it just felt like I was there, but I wasn't there. I was so sick, but I was like, was everyone excited for Goa's baptism? She's like, yeah, everyone was excited. I was like, okay, that's all that matters. I was there, but I wasn't there. But great to see my man baptized. I share a bit about it in the sermon. Ray's happy, she's smiling. That's good. I wish my life was like Ray, fruitful 2 times. I wish. How do I touch the spirit that you have? My spirit seems to be a bit different to yours. Better. Goa, who's next? Show me the way and I shall follow. But the title of today's lesson is Be on Your Guard. Just a reminder, 7th of December, that's the banquet in Sydney. Oh, yeah. It's going to be fun, nice and exciting. 24th to the 26th of January, 2005. That's the workshop. You know where it is? In Sydney. And then while we're gone, for all of us who are going to the conference, we know that some of us, unfortunately, 7 of us will not be there. The Bible says when one suffers, all suffers. So they're suffering for us while we go to the conference. We will be there for you. We will enjoy ourselves for you. We will make sure we have all the fun that you would want to have. We will eat all I will eat all the meat pies for Juju. Wow. You have to live life to the full for them. But thank you guys. Juju will be leading the church with his right-hand man, go out. That's what it is. Paul got baptized. I didn't know what Paul did. Man said they're preaching. Baptized right hand, baby. That's what it is. If you look in the sermon notes, which I've sent, I do share with our friends. I put there the schedule of what the church will look like while everyone is away. So I leave on the 5th. So next week, Wednesday, I will preach a lesson on conference ready, just helping our young family, brothers and sisters, be ready for a conference, what to expect, so on and so forth. But on the 6th is a Wednesday. So rather than having a midweek, so I talked to Juju about it to organize a games night. I believe I asked Eric. I remember asking Eric, everything will be hosted off their house while you're gone, right? Because they have a TV, which I don't have. I believe I believe I did. But anyway, so he would do it at Eric's house on that Wednesday night, just a games night. Invite friends, Adrian, Aiden, just invite our friends, Mike. Have a great old fun time that everyone will enjoy. So it's great. Mel has a whip. He has Christian and Eric's whip, so she can move around to drive around. I have water here as well, love. Oh, it's all good. I love it. Juju lives there already, so he doesn't need to hobble anywhere. My wife has a whip as well, which is good, so people can move around. Chelsea, there's many whips to help her around. But then on the Thursday, the conference began. I've asked Scotty. Scotty says that everything will be live streamed. So what I've done, I put the times on in Melbourne time when everything will be hosted. So for the Thursday, rather than, I understand what my wife was asking me about evangelism. The times things will run is during evangelism. So for example, I think you could go evangelism a bit early. Then meet up by 8:30. On the 7th, the church builders workshop will start. It goes from 8:30 p.m. because we're 2 hours behind New Zealand. 2 hours behind or 2 hours ahead? No. I checked 1 sec. Madness, yeah. I was looking at this. I bet you this was when I was already sick, I think. Can someone check now? Yeah. No. So I'm right. Well, just check. Someone check on the clock. Someone just check on the clock. Oh, wow. So it's 4:30. Wife just texted me, change the times on the calendar for while we're gone so I can change. Anyway, so 4:30 it would be for us till 4:30, 5:30, 6:30, or maybe whatever time it is. So I'll rearrange the times so you can live stream it. That means some people will be coming from work. So that's fine. Come from work, join in when you can. As well, for the same thing for the 8th, which is Friday, again, the same concept. And then the Saturday as well, there's the women and the men's session that I split. So the women happens. I like it this year because the women are happening. Then later, then the men will happen. So it's a different time. So, and then obviously for church on Sunday, we wouldn't have this venue. I've already emailed the venue asking them for us not to have it because there's only 7 people that are going to be here. You can have service at Christine's house. And then, yeah, Juju just needs to prepare the communion and all that. And then you can watch the live stream of that. That means if church is at 10 for them, it starts at 8 for us. The Lord be with you. Like I said, we will enjoy for you. Let me drink some water. Hey, Jesus woke up early in the morning before dawn to pray. I said, what are you doing? Anyway, awesome. But yeah, diving into the lesson. I think today's lesson is just is us for disciples and those visiting that we are at war. We always have been at war. And that we must know God and the Bible. And you got to snuff out Satan where Satan is lurking, whether it's personally in your own heart or in other situations. You got to sniff out Satan. Satan can disguise himself, but if you look closely enough, you can sniff him out. So today we're going to be looking at the miracle of thunder and rain in harvest time. So it's in 1 Samuel chapter 12, verse 18. The miracle was an act of God because during the wheat harvest time for Israel, it doesn't usually rain. So what is a miracle? A miracle is something outside normality. Does that make sense? So for it to rain when it doesn't normally rain, it was an act of God. Thus, God acted to get the attention of his people. And let me ask you, are you on God? In today's sermon, we'll be covering different topics. Integrity. All you have in life is your integrity. That's all you have in life. Remembering the miracles of God, being careful of what we ask for, and the purpose of us making mistakes. Every one of us will make mistakes, but what is the purpose of making mistakes? Through all this topic, God is intending to get your attention to be on your guard, to stay ready, to be watching for Satan and his schemes to take you out. In 1 Peter chapter 5, 8-9, it says, be alert and of sober mind. The fact that it asks us to be alert tells you what? We need to be alert. Your enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, looking for someone to devour. Resist him, standing firm in the faith, because you know that the family of believers throughout the world is undergoing the same kind of suffering. That's why you have to use the Bible. If something doesn't align with the characteristics of Christ, if something doesn't align with righteousness and spirituality, it most likely feels like Satan, looks like Satan. And if something feels like Satan, looks like Satan, guess what it is? Satan. 2 Corinthians chapter 11, 12-14. And I'll keep on doing what I'm doing in order to cut the ground from all those who want an opportunity to be considered equal with us in the things they boast about. For such people are false apostles. There are people that call themselves apostles, but they are false apostles. Deceitful workers, masquerading as apostles of Christ. So they pretend, masquerade as if they're apostles of Christ. And no wonder, for Satan himself masquerades as an angel of light. Satan doesn't come to you in his truest form, which is darkness. If he did, no one will go to him. He comes to you in the form called light. But it's a masquerade. It's where have you ever been to a party, a dress-up party, you dress so nice, you put the mask on, and you take on a different form? That's the whole concept of Satan. He takes on a form. You know what TV show was really like scary? Because actually it's kind of based off the Bible. Ring of Power. My gosh. Man, when you watch Sauron, and when he was like manipulating, what's his name again? The guy that makes the rings. Wow. I was like, man, that's scary. And then Juju out of nowhere goes, man, Joseph Smith. There's the Mormon side. So I remember. I was like, man has traumatizations. So what do you understand? There will be false apostles. So what does that mean by just apostles? False teachers, false leaders, ministers that will come up. They are deceitful workers and their works and actions are full of deceit. So if something claims to be light, but as you look at their actions, their behavior, and it's not consistent with spiritual people in the Bible, then it ain't God, is it? It doesn't even matter if they have some form of truth. Think about it. When Satan tempted Jesus, did Satan tell Jesus some truth? Yes, he did. Think about it. He says, oh, you're hungry. Turn these stones into bread. It's true. Jesus was hungry. If you fasted 40 days and 40 nights, you too will be hungry. Is that not the truth? He was hungry. But just because he was hungry didn't mean he needed to take things into his own hands. He goes, yo, I will give you the whole kingdom. Think about it. Is Jesus not the king? Is Jesus not the head of the church? So he's not lying when he says, I will make you king. But at what cost? Bow down to me. So there was truth, but Jesus didn't need to bow down to him. Then he goes, you know what? Just jump off this cliff. Doesn't it say God will catch you? It's true. God says he loves you, he will catch you. But did Jesus need to test God to do it? No, he didn't. So though there is truth, if it smells like, looks like Satan, guess what it is? Satan. The masqueraders, apostles of Christ, as if they're serving Christ. Yet they are just like Satan, who masquerades as an angel of the light. Satan does not come in his truest form, which is darkness, but he masquerades as a prophet of the light. But when you look closely, you can see the darkness clearly. Does that make sense? Awesome. So what does it mean to be on guard? I thought about a rugby analogy. Rugby is the greatest sport when you talk about being on guard. Really interesting sport. All you have to do is to not be on guard for a little sec, and you are done. It's like watching the rugby finals when my Panthers won. Whoa. Where was your Roosters anyway? Whoa. The Melbourne Storms thought they were on guard. And all it took was a little slip. And guess who got it? My Panthers. Last year, the Broncos thought they were winning. They didn't know there's a man called Nathan Cleary. He came alive. And guess what? My Panthers won. My wife is like, you go for the Panthers? Really? That's not the point. Anyway. But I think about it. If you're playing rugby and you don't see a tackle coming, so you're running with the ball and you're not watching both sides, and maybe you're focused on one side, and another person comes and they hit you, you're not on guard. Gone. Quickest way to get an injury. I do want to lift up Zach and Dave. We started tackling in rugby. Juju's heart was not pure. Let me tell you why. I get to training. He goes, so Manny, yeah? Take the ball. Yes. What am I going to do? For today, they're just going to tackle you. Wow. So for literally the whole training, Zach, Dave, Chris just kept tackling me. Wow. Get up, go again, get up. I was like, bro, I don't mind, like I'm learning to feel the tackles, but I literally didn't tackle anyone. All I did was get tackled. I think I have a problem with that, man. It better be different on Tuesday, man. But I'm really proud of Zach and Dave. They just kept tackling, learning the technique. They were learning quickly. Man, Zach is a deceiver, man. This preemie baby, man. You see, he's a preemie baby. So you don't think preemie babies are supposed to be strong and tough, right? Why are you laughing? You know it's true. 28 weeks. We play Frisbee. This guy out of nowhere is bringing out skills that he hasn't even shown anyone. I'm like, bro, you're not athletic. You should not be athletic. I look at you and I don't think you're athletic. Wow. Yeah, he proves me. Am I wrong? Yes. But he's athletic. He's super athletic. Killing it. I was like, so next time we play Frisbee, Mel goes, I want him on our team. Why? Because we sniffed out, we saw what was within. We're going to play rugby. I was like, there's no way this guy trying to tackle me. You don't know me. You don't know me. Eat chicken and rice, you don't know me. He just kept tackling me. I was like, bro, back off, man. Impressive, him and Dave, they were crazy. It was really cool. But you're gonna be on your guard. I remember like a time when I really wasn't on my guard, and he teaches you a lot about Satan. So I used to ride bikes. I used to be one of those, fit guys. You know those guys you see in the city? Why are you guys laughing, man? You know those guys you see in the city who are always on the bikes, riding from place to place? That was me, yeah. It was good times. Look, I was low on money. Aiden understands. Aiden is always on his bike. He didn't understand. I used to ride, and that was my form of transport. But if you know anything about riding a bike, you should always make sure your front light is on or working. I had a front light, it was dead. If you know Emmanuel is cheapsteak. So I didn't replace the light or get it working. And I was riding back from Sydney University, thick guy. Right, riding back at nighttime because I had no light. I really appreciate what I'm just sharing because I'm a bit like that too. Something happens to me and I want to blame someone else besides blaming me. I'm riding at night and a car obviously doesn't see me because I don't have any light. I'm expecting by some miraculous way he will see me. I'm in a bike. You already know my skin complexion. And I'm expecting that he's going to see me. Do I need to say more? Okay. So I'm riding and the car starts to come out. Like, I think the car was either coming out or he opens his door. And I literally go into the car, flipped off my bag and landed on my hand. My first thought was, what is wrong? Because I was riding and I saw him. I saw the car moving this way. I'm like, I knew, okay, I'm sorry. Okay. It was coming out and I was like, surely he knows I'm coming. Therefore, surely he's going to pull back and stop. That was my thought process. As you can see, I put the blame on him. It hits me, I fall down. I was like, man, that really hurt. Then when the adrenaline calmed down and everything, I realized, well, I was the one at fault. I shouldn't have been driving without some light at nighttime. But that's just like life, isn't it? If you're not prepared, especially at dark times in your life, like I wasn't, Satan will knock you off your bike, off your walk with God, off your life as you know it. And I think about Goa deciding to get right with God, to leave that darkness and fight for something, fight for the truth, to live a life to get his kids to heaven. And I think about when we first did the Seeking God study, I sat down, I remember it was me and Juju, I was like in the balcony of the brothers, like, bro, you doing this for Ray? You better not be doing this for Ray, man. Forget about Ray. Better not be doing this for Ray, man. He goes, bro, I want to find out for myself if it's the truth. I was like, yeah, good job. You better not be doing it for Ray. Anyway. And it's interesting studying with, it reminds me of Samoa, because when you study the Bible in Samoa, most people's English are not the best. So you're always asking yourself how much do they understand. I remember we did the L&D study here. Eric led a great study. And I left, I was like, I think he gets it. I don't know how much he gets it. This is when you know someone really gets it. He comes the next day, which was a Monday, and we're doing the cross. He came with this detailed, deep sin list. Wrote it out on a paper. I remember, you know when you studied the Bible, some of you has fallen into this. You go, write your sin list out on a paper. How many of you actually come with the paper written out? Yeah, exactly. You're like, yeah, I got it up here. I got it on my... He came with an actual paper. Humble, obedient, wrote it out. I was like, man, impressive. Confess deeply. Even all of us deep, just... The next day, boom, he was dealing with his sin. Knocking it down, changing from it. And this wasn't some small stuff. This was some big stuff. And that's when you know someone is in touch with where they're at with God. I remember driving the car with him when he was helping me move my house. I'm so grateful. I was like, bro, do you get it? Do you know what it is? Do you sure you want to do it? He's like, yeah, man. He's like, I'm tired of this world. I just want to leave this world. I want to do what is righteous. I just want to leave this world. He got it. Even when we gave him an extra week, we're like, bro, I think you should have an extra week before being baptized so you can make sure you're living for righteousness. He's like, okay, no problem. All good. One of the things we wanted to see him do was do more evangelism. So the next week began. I think I went evangelizing with him like on a Monday or a Tuesday. Then the next day he goes to me, hey, bro, so when are we doing the next evangelism? I was like, whoa, calm down, bro. He was not asking me for the evangelism. So we're evangelizing on a Thursday. And as God would have it, we met one guy, Jane. So we come out to sharing and we're all sharing good news. He goes, yeah, first of all, I was the one that stopped Jane and talked to him. And then he goes, yeah, I gave Emmanuel one guy. I was like, bro, that's not how I remember it. But if you know Goa is a funny guy. But we wanted to make sure he was ready. We called him on Friday night. I was like, bro, you feeling ready? Because it was meant to be done today at the baptism. But Eric was leaving and Eric has done all the study, literally studied with all the boys. He's done all the studies and we wanted him to be there. So Jesse crossed kind of the course afterwards, because that's the first time Jesse was in the study with him and his English barrier. He was like, I just want to make sure he understands it all. Why don't you speak to him that night? Get Eric to, like one of you, Eric speaks to him first. I can speak to him the next day, but we did it the other way around. So I spoke to him that night. He's like, yeah. He's like, you know what? Let me just pray with Ray and then make sure I'm ready. Then I'll text you. Next morning, I'm waiting for the text. I finished my time with James. I get a text from him. And his text goes, "Good morning, bro. I'm ready to baptize." I was like, yeah. Eric soaked him as well in the morning, was ready. But that's a man right there who goes, "I'm done with the world. I want to get right with God." Point one, be on your guard against dishonesty and arrogance. How is your integrity? 1 Samuel chapter 12, verse 1 to 5. Samuel said to all Israel, "I've listened to everything you say to me, and I've set a king over you. Now you have a king as your leader. As for me, I am old and gray, and my sons are here with you. I've been your leader from my youth until this day. Here I stand, testify against me in the presence of the Lord and his anointed. Whose ox have I taken? Whose donkey have I taken? Whom have I cheated? Whom have I oppressed? From whose hand have I accepted a bribe to make me shut up my eyes? If I have done any of these things, I will make it right. You have not cheated or oppressed us." They replied, "You have not taken anything from anyone's hands." Samuel said to him, "The Lord is witness against you, and you also, his anointed, is witness to this day, that you have not found anything in my hand. He is witness," they said. See, integrity means the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles. The only thing you have in life is your integrity. Samuel's integrity was excellent. He had not taken anyone's ox, donkey, cheated, or oppressed anyone, nor had he bribed anyone. Anyone can have excellent integrity. You just need to destroy the factors that stops you from having integrity. I think this is so true because I think of myself, if you knew me before I was a disciple, I was as dishonest as it comes. I was as dishonest as it comes. And you know what? I justified it because I felt the reason for me being dishonest was fine. I remember from primary school, I kind of understood to be one of the rich kids made you kind of cool, right? So I created a narrative. I told everyone when they asked me, "What did your cousin do?" So now, my cousin worked in disability. But I thought being a kid whose cousin worked in disability wasn't all that great. Disability is not too far from medicine, right? I thought. So I didn't think, I knew it was different, but I was like, yeah, that's when you know you're lying. I was like, you know what? My cousin doesn't do disability. My cousin is a doctor. What I just said is not true. I knew it was different, but I deceived myself to connect the two. That's what I should say. But I said he's a doctor. So from primary school, everyone believed I was a doctor's kid. You know you lack integrity when you lie so much. And one of my teachers came, I think it was by year 6 or year 5 now. She goes, "Hey, Manuel, so how's your cousin who's a doctor doing?" I was like, "What do you mean who's a doctor? Who told you my cousin is a doctor? You?" I lied so much, I didn't even remember my own lie. The one that hurt me the most was, I hate this in school, but it was so good that he put it. You know how you do assignments or homeworks? They'll give you homework, and you have to go home, do the homework, and then get your parents to sign it. You guys don't remember that? Oh, you 22,000 and kid babies. You don't remember that? You never had that? Man, you guys will use ChatGPT these days to do crazy things. Literally, when we grew up, you had to do homework, and after you do homework, your parents needed to sign it. And then you bring it back to school. I had no problem doing the homework, but there was this unhealthy fear I had of my cousin. So for some reason, I convinced myself it was going to be a bad idea to get them to sign it. So I knew my cousin's signature. I would do all the homework and I would forge the signature myself. Even to the point, I remember when I would get in trouble in high school, in primary school, slapping someone, hitting someone with a stick. Hitting someone with a stick, doing stupid stuff. I forged the signature. I never actually got my cousin to read it. But it was one of those years where I was actually doing well in school. I was doing really well. And I've been forging the signature by the homework. And I was going to get the most improved award. I was like, this is my first proper award. I was going to stand on stage in front of everyone during the end of the year assembly thing that we always do in primary school. And then, you sing, you're in the singing. I was in the singing team. They thought I had a good voice. See that? My teachers thought I had a good voice. Miss Owen thought I had a good voice. And we're singing Elvis Presley. 1, 2, 3. Okay, anyway. And I was going to get the most improved award. I was feeling good. I was feeling happy. Then all of a sudden, I get called in to speak to two of my teachers. I believe it was two of them. They go, Emmanuel, we want to talk to you about something. I said, what do you want to talk about? We've been looking through your records, and we see there's an inconsistency in the signatures. I was like, what do you mean? See, this signature looks like this. This signature looks like this. You know when you're caught? But instead of admitting you're caught, I was like, that one is my mom's one. That one is my dad's one. They're like, have you been forging the signature? I don't even remember if I end up owning up to it. But they go, because we believe you've been forging it, we're going to take the most improved award to you and give it to this other girl. I was so mad. I remember at the rehearsal, my name was supposed to be called up to be the one to walk on stage and receive it. I had to call up her name. I was so mad. I knew where she lived. Man, I was so hurt. And in my head, I was like, forget about the fortune of the signature. I deserve it. Isn't that what dishonesty does to you? You believe you deserve something, though you've acted like Satan. What affects your integrity? People pleasing rather than pleasing God, isn't it? Galatians 1:10, it says, am I not trying to win the approval of human beings or of God? Or am I trying to please people? If I was still trying to please people, I would not be a servant of Christ. Pleasing ourselves over pleasing God. Proverbs 3:5-6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, submit to him, and he will make your paths straight. So when you take Jesus as the Lord of your life, pleasing others and yourself will die. Because your parents, your friends, your family, yourself are no longer gods or Lord, but God himself. So it's a matter of really holding on to what you said at your baptism. Jesus is Lord. Becoming a disciple, I think about, though I was dishonest, I remember becoming a disciple and I'm like, I got to get my life straight. I was a man, I had different debts I had to pay. I was borrowing from my friend Basil, taking money from him to pay for different things. I hit a car, not once, twice, before I was a Christian. So I was paying that off. I hit a BMW, the second one I hit before. I knew I needed to be a disciple. I was driving my cousin's Kluger, and he had a tow bar at the back, and I hit a BMW. I was like, yeah, Lord, take my card. Literally, I was studying the Bible, and that happened. I was like, I'm supposed to be a disciple. So I had that, and I was like, I remember the day that I finally paid. I was working, paying things off slowly. I was like, I want to be free of these things. And I knew I had to make Jesus the Lord of my life. Have you forgotten the miracles? I think as well, we look at this story, and we'll look at the story when Israel had asked for a king. They got one. But have you forgotten the miracles? 1 Samuel chapter 12, 6-11. Then Samuel said to the people, it is the Lord who appointed Moses and Aaron and brought your ancestors out of Egypt. Now then stand here because I'm going to confront you with evidence before the Lord as to all the righteous acts performed by the Lord for you and your ancestors. After Jacob entered Egypt, they cried to the Lord for help. And the Lord sent Moses and Aaron, who brought your ancestors out of Egypt and settled them in this place. But they forgot the Lord their God. So he sold them into the hands of Syria, the commander of the army of Hezrah, and into the hands of the Philistines and the king of Moab, who fought against them. They cried out to the Lord and said, we have sinned. We have forsaken the Lord and served the Baals and the Ashtaroths. But now deliver us from the hands of our enemies, and we will serve you. Then the Lord sent Jerubbaal, Barak, Jephthah, and Samuel, and he delivered you from the hands of your enemies all around you, so that you lived in safety. Here is Samuel recounting for them the miracles from God. Every person's life is filled with wonders and miracles from God. Yes, even non-believers and non-Christians. Our life is full of miracles. I think about some of the recent miracles. So my friend, I call him Chief, the man Chief, Sharif. God is interesting how God works. Sharif gave me a call on, I believe it was Monday. He gave me a call, goes, Manny, and I've been really fighting hard. I've been really working hard to find a job. I've been really praying to God. I found nothing, okay? But I have a job tonight. I'm doing a trial, this trial at this workplace. So I came up with a great plan. I said, yeah. No, God has shown me a great plan. So I'm thinking, after I finish this trial on Monday, Tuesday night, I think it was Tuesday night or whatever night, I drive back to Sydney. I know I can get a concrete job for 3 days. I drive back to Sydney, do concreting for 3 days so I can make enough money to have for the conference. Then after I do that, I'll drive back in time for church on Sunday here in Melbourne. Mel is giggling. Yo, I will remind you of your giggle when the time comes. I was like, okay. In my head, I'm like, this is a great plan, huh? Anyway, I was like, oh, okay. He's like, bro, I was like, bro, like, what do you know when someone tells you something, you're like, I was like, bro, that defeats the purpose of being on a mission team, right? He's like, yeah, bro, the bills are coming, I got rent coming. I gotta go to a conference. I don't have the money. I said, bro, it seems like you're trying to take matters into your own hand rather than trusting in God. He's like, bro, I'm trusting in God, Manny. I'm trusting in God, Manny. And this seems like it's the best thing right now. In MJ's word, Manny will make sure you hear what you need to hear. I was like, okay. I was like, are you sure you're not taking this into your... I was like, bro, you just gotta have faith. We looked at, I don't remember the scripture. We looked at a scripture about having faith. I was like, bro, have you done this? Have you walked around to all places, looked for construction job? Have you done this? Have you done that? You know when someone leaves a phone call, they're like, I understand what you're saying, but I don't like it. That was like the phone call. I was like, okay, man. We left the phone call. Tuesday comes. I call him to check how things are going. He picks up the phone. I was like, hey, bro, how you doing? He's like, bro, you won't believe it, man. I was like, yeah, what? I'm just coming back from a constructing job. Not in Sydney. I was like, mind you, he called me on a Monday. This is Tuesday. I was like, what happened, bro? He's like, yeah, man, I was all day looking for work. Nothing came through. Then my brother gave me a call, said there's someone here in Melbourne that can do construction. I was like, okay, mind you, this was Monday. He called me. He's like, okay, yeah, I called the guy. The guy didn't get back to me till Tuesday morning at like 7 a.m. and said, can I come into work that day? And I came into work. And I have work for the rest of the week. I think you're still working there next week. I was like, wow, bro. The Lord always works, doesn't he? And like that, the miracle happened. And he has a job until next week as well. He has an interview at Monash on Tuesday. Pray for him. As he can be one of the fitness trainers there. Do pray for that. Would be such perfect. We're at Monash. God, I mean, it's God to give. We deserve nothing in this world. But if God will so give him, do pray for him. That would be amazing. I was like, wow. I think I'm a better. Let me come at you, better. I remember when Better decided the conference is not for her. I don't have money for the flight. She was so excited. And all of a sudden, she's not going to the conference. I was like, man, this girl, man. Then remember when she shared the good news at midweek? She got up like, she already all knew she was going to be going to the conference. She got up like, yeah, I had faith already. She's like, yeah. My cousin is going to pay for my flight ticket. I was like, you didn't believe. But all of a sudden, she added a bit of her money. She got a flight ticket and she's going. Pray for another miracle. She applied for a visa. Pray for that visa to come this coming week, man. Things are tough, man. Everyone, you can ask Juju. Juju was literally at the airport when he went to America, waiting for his visa to come through. He was literally at the airport waiting, and he came through. But I believe she will be there. I've been praying. I think I'm in my home. By the way, leaders will be at my house today. Guys, I mean, God has been doing miracles all year. You know, we first of all started with the miracle home, right? God did all the miracle stuff, blessing everything. My grass, please take care of my grass. My grass. But this one is just next level. I have a conviction. You can build a house for free. You can. What do I mean? Maybe not the land, not the actual building of the house, but the content within the house. You can build for free. What do I mean? Let me just give you some insight of what God has been doing for my wife and I. Our couch for free. We got that couch for free in Sydney. How do I know? Why found it for free? I didn't want to do the extra work because she wanted to pick up 2 couches to see which worked. I was, no, we're not doing this. But my wife always knows best. So we went, we got it for free. Fed the couch. Beautiful. Sleep on it. You wouldn't wake up. I know it. Rug. I thought my wife might not, for free. Message the guy, and he's like, look, it's outside the house. I remember Goa and I picked it up and I brought it. Goa and I had to smack it like you do in Samoa, smack the rug to get all the dirt out, vacuum it for free. Side piece that is in the living room. I don't know what it's called. It's just a side piece. I don't know what it's called. Plant. The couch in the baby's room. A coffee table that is not even in use for free. Christine got it when she went to pick up something for Ray. For free. TV unit in my house for free. I think about the story of how we got our washing machine for free. So, I've been looking for washing machine. This is an epic washing machine. You can try it. Bring your clothes. You can wash it if you like. Test and see that the Lord is good. Anyway, so I've been looking for washing machine for free, right? So I message, and the guy goes, yeah, sure. The guy wants me to come. Anyway, I'm at the house. I walk in, I reverse, I walk in. This is his father's house, but his father is now in a nursing home, I believe. So they were getting rid of some stuff. I go, and there is a washing machine, a bit dusty and all that. He goes, look, it's never really been used because he hasn't been in the house for 6 months. I grabbed the washing machine, beautiful. It works like, it may be not new, but it works like it's pretty much like new. Beautiful. While I go to get the washing machine, he goes, there's a high table for a baby. This one is a little British, if you get what I mean, yeah? It's just old school type high table, wood. It's all made out of wood. It's classy, like my wife. It's just perfect. He goes, took it for free. I saw a toaster there that does 4 slices of bread in one time, not them 2 stuff. 4. I said, yo, can I have that toaster? He goes, no, I'm taking the toaster. By the time I put the washing machine, by the time I put the high table, he brings the toaster. Here, you can have the toaster too. He even gave me 2 Bibles. I don't think it was I think it was like those Gideon Bibles things I put in the bin. But anyway, get me free toaster as well, for free. Vacuum. Going for a prayer walk. The park near Eric's house, went for a prayer walk. I finished praying. I'm on my way back now. I think by that time I stopped praying. Guess what I saw? Vacuum for free. Wayne, I have your vacuum in my car. Make sure I give it to you. For free, vacuum. Went home, tested it, works. For free. Anyway, let me keep going. It's not done yet. Dining table. Why I found it. JT picked it up last week Sunday. For free. So now comes, I'm looking for a dining table chairs. We've been looking. It ain't what it is. You find some that want you to pick up the dining table and the chairs. I'm like, man, I don't want your table. Just give me the chairs. No. Friday, Dandenong North. A guy has a dining table chairs. I go, bro, just give me the chairs. Like, no, you got to pick up the chairs and the table. But then I was there. I was like, I can't be asking God things for free and put in a limitation. He gives it to me. I was like, you know what? Whatever. I'll take the table too. Then as I'm going there, I thought, maybe I can use the table for risk. Then I got there, and the guy goes, yeah, I see the table. It's one of those tables that comes out as well, expands out. I was like, this is my risk table. So I took the chairs for free, the dining table for free. It's in the garage. My garage is going to be my risk layer. That's what we're going to play risk. It comes out perfect for free. All right, we'll keep going. Coffee machine for free from my best mate, Joe. Is in out of action now because I haven't got the pieces, but pray for me. I think about some of the artworks we got. Effie and I in Sydney, we went and bought a couple artworks from someone, and then they gave us a few other ones for free. We've been carrying those artworks around. All right. Fridge. Do you believe you can get a fridge for free? I believe. Do you believe you can get one that looks like new? I believe. All right, let me tell you the story. So I'm looking for a fridge. There's actually some free fridges on Facebook Market. God just works through Facebook Market like nothing. All right. So design, plan. I'm meant to go get this fridge Saturday morning. So I've been messaging the lady. She wanted me to come on a Friday night if I can come before 9 p.m. And my Bible talk, I'm like, look, it's not going to work. Okay, no worries. I don't think I'll be there, but I said, let's do it. She said, tomorrow is fine. She said, can you come by the afternoon? I can, but I've been telling everyone it's going to be a sharing. If I go get it, I know my church, they're going to be like, ooh, man, you went a sharing. But it's true. I should be a sharing. I was like, look, I can't do the afternoon. What about the morning? She goes 11 a.m. I'm like, I'm pushing it. Impossible. I was like, what about 10? She hadn't yet responded to my message. I go, I said, what about 10? She hadn't responded. Then I changed it to 10:30. She still hasn't responded. But if you're looking for things in free, then you're going to step with faith. I go, I'm going to step out with faith. I'm going to start driving to that place in faith. My wife needed the car to go to a study Saturday morning. I grabbed the car from Eric's house. I literally grabbed the car. I drive out and I'm approaching to the lights near the Macca's. I get a message back from her. Sorry, I couldn't get a car to meet you. Can we do the afternoon? I'm like, bummed. I'm like, okay. I see the message. I drive her. So I messaged her first. I was like, while I'm at the light. I was like, so 11 wouldn't work? She's like, no. No, Mel. I see you. Anyway, I drive around. You're right, Mel. I shouldn't have texted as I drive. God forgive me. I'm sorry. I drive around. I come back to the car. I go, hey, look. I come back to Eric's driveway. I go, hey, look. I will let you know if I could come this afternoon. Now, yes, I shouldn't have sinned and texted. I'm sorry, Mel. Sorry, God. But I could have gone home with my tails behind my back. I could have gone home. I was like, you know what? I'm going to sit here. And God, you're going to give me a fridge for free. Please. Not because I deserve it, because I need one. So I go on Facebook. I'm looking for fridge. I'm looking for free fridges. Right then and then, I see a fridge listed for free. Just listed. He literally says, just listed. I message the lady, is this available? She goes, yes, it's available. I look at, what's the suburb? She tells me the suburb, or the suburb was already on the website. I check it, it's only 20 minutes drive. I was like, I'm only 20 minutes from you. I can come right now. She hasn't yet messaged back. I'm like, I'm driving here in faith. I start driving, she messages back, sends me her address, because I asked for the address. She hadn't yet sent it. Send me the address. I go there by myself, fridge, see it. She's already put vinegar in it to disinfect it and everything. I pick it up by myself, put it in the car, drive home, later that night, clean it, see my fridge when you come, for free. Anyway, it's not even done. I have a nice, beautiful bin, 2 sides. When you press it, it opens with your feet. It's extension mechanism. Excellent at working. Not too much, not too little, just Goldilocks. For free. I went and picked that up with Juju when we had our D time. I have this beautiful white bowl on top of my coffee table. Beautiful. For free. You will see it when you come. My free coffee table in the baby's room. Life is not fair, man. This baby has more stuff than I do. She has her own room, has this. Anyway, I will have a conversation with her when she comes out. For free. It's a coffee table given by Abe, made by the person that used to be in the church, Abe, in Sydney. Christine and Erica had it, and now it's ours. A shelf in my room. Oh, that beautiful shelf that is so heavy. For free. Free plates and cups from Mel. Thank you, Mel. She bought us cups, plates, for free. I didn't pay for it. Mel did. Oh, God is good. And we're still dependent on the Lord for a free TV, dryer, and microwave. And as he would know it, the Lord and I are picking up a microwave tomorrow morning. Just pray that it works. She says she hasn't tested it. She doesn't know yet if it works. But he don't know. We're picking it up for free. Literally, it's amazing. See, sadly, at many times in our life, we can forget that all throughout our lives, God's hands, love, and care has been on us. Samuel confronted the Israelites with evidence of all the righteous acts performed by the Lord for them and their ancestors. The same is with us today. Think about it. Your birth, was it from man or from God? Yeah. Your birth, for you to survive, you require food, water, and air, like I'm drinking. Was that from God or man? Did you create any of those things by your hands or brought them into existence? Job 1:21, and it said, naked I came from my mother's womb, naked I would depart. The Lord give and the Lord has taken away. May the name of the Lord be praised. I think everybody got to understand, everything we have is from God. You can never ever forget the miracles from God. Samuel talks to Israel that their life has been of God delivering them. What point is God trying to prove through all this display of his power? Romans 1:20-21. For since the creation of the world, God's invisible qualities, his eternal power and divine nature has been clearly seen, have been understood from what has been made, so that people are without excuse. For although they knew God, they neither glorified him as God nor gave thanks to him. But their thinking became futile and the foolish hearts were darkened. The point is, God has taken away all the excuses. The excuse to not become a disciple today. The excuse not to glorify God. The excuse to not repent today. God has taken it all away. For what purpose? So we can focus on him. Point 2. Be on your guard against ungodly motives and self-pity. Be careful what you ask for. Sometimes we want to ask God for things. I'm not saying you shouldn't ask, but be careful what you ask for. 1 Samuel chapter 12 to 19, he says, But when you saw that Nahash, king of the Amorites, was moving against you, you say to me, no, we want a king to rule over us, even though the Lord your God was your king. Now here is the king you have chosen, the one you asked for. See, the Lord has set a king over you. If you fear the Lord and serve and obey him and do not rebel against his command, and if both you and the king who reigns over you follow the Lord your God, good. But if you do not obey the Lord, and if you rebel against his commands, his hands will be against you, as it was against your ancestors. Now then stand still and see this great thing the Lord is about to do before your eyes. It is not wheat harvest now. I will call on the Lord to send thunder and rain. And you will realize what an evil thing you did in the eyes of the Lord when you asked for a king. Then Samuel called on the Lord, and the same day the Lord sent thunder and rain. So all the people stood in awe of the Lord and Samuel. The people all said to Samuel, pray to the Lord your God for your servants so that we will not die. For we had added to all our other sins the evil of asking for a king. They wanted a king. The nation of Israel asked for a king, and this was an evil thing in the eyes of the God. It's interesting. Why was it evil? Up to this point, Israel had a spiritual leader and advisor. They had Moses, Joshua, Eli, Samuel, but not a king. This was because God was their king, the deliverer and protector. In asking for a king, the Israelites did wrong because it was them rejecting God's way of leadership, which was for God to be their one and only leader. It was also evil because they wanted to be like the other nations. 1 Samuel 8:19 to 20. But the people refused to listen to Samuel. No, they said, we want a king over us. Then we will be like the other nations with a king to lead us and go out before us and fight our battles. They didn't need to be like other nations. They should have been content with what they have and trust in the sovereignty of God. You're going to check your heart before you ask God. Are you asking for a pure motive? Are you asking out of envy and jealousy? Are you asking out of selfish ambition? Are you asking so you can be like the world? God might grant you what you're asking for, but it doesn't mean your prayer and heart was righteous. No realization means no change. God ensured that the Israelites realized that what they had done was wrong. He did this by sending thunder and rain during the wheat harvest. The wheat harvest, there should be no rain or thunder. This resorted to them being in awe of God and having a fear of God. You know what's lacking most of these days? A fear of God. When you start to act and do things that according to the Bible, you shouldn't do. When you start to dip your hands and step your hand in a form that is only God should do. As a result, they not only realized their sin, but they were also brokenhearted about their sin. 1 Corinthians 7:10, godly sorrow brings repentance that leads to salvation and leaves no regret. But worldly sorrow brings death. And then when mistakes are intended to push you forward. Okay, you made a mistake. What should he do? 1 Samuel chapter 12, 20 to 25. Do not be afraid, Samuel replied. You have done all this evil, yet do not turn away from the Lord, but serve the Lord with all your heart. Do not turn away from after useless idols. They can do you no good, nor can they rescue you because they are useless. For the sake of his great name, the Lord will not reject his people because the Lord was pleased to make you his own. As for me, far be it from me that I should sin against the Lord by failing to pray for you. And I will teach you the way that is good and right. But be sure to fear the Lord. Serve him faithfully with all your heart. Consider what great things he has done for you. Yet if your priest is doing evil, both you and the king will perish. Your mistakes are intended to push you closer to God. I really appreciate Mel. She messaged me this week going, hey, sorry, I forgot to ask you as well. Tell me 3 ways I'm prideful. I kind of like when people ask me that question. It's liberty for me to be honest. I don't think I struggle with being honest, but I like being extra honest. Anyway, I appreciate that. She asked. That's it. The fact that she asked that question shows her humility already. If you're not willing to ask that question, then you're not humble. Some people go, oh, I want to ask them. That is I really want to lift up Mel. Very, very humble of her. This is the same with us today. Because we have not yet completely changed yet, we can feel like there is no point to continue the journey because in becoming a disciple or saying as a disciple. Just because you haven't completely changed doesn't mean you should give up. Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Keep going. Keep changing. Keep fighting. Because we're faithless, we can see no use in being a disciple. At least I appreciate Sharif. He might have been faithless initially, but guess what? He went in and had faith, and God blessed his faith. 2 Timothy 2:12-13. If we endure, we also reign with him. If we disown him, he also disown us. If we are faithless, he remains faithful, for he cannot disown himself. Appreciate Ray. Ray's entire life is miracle. Literally. It's a miracle for her to baptize her sister, her cousin. It's a miracle. Man, she should even be here in this country. She was meant to live in July. Then somehow, some way, she got away to do another degree. Then somehow, some way, she got away to bring out her family, called God. Then her husband is now baptized. And there's another miracle needed for them to stay longer after. It's called miracle. I kind of like that life. Why not? My life might be on the edge, but at least I'm a walking miracle. That's amazing. Because we're weak, we can see no point in being a disciple. 2 Corinthians 12:9-10. But it said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, I will boast all the more gladly about my weakness, so that Christ's power may rest on me. That is why, for Christ's sake, I delight in weakness, in insults, in hardships, in persecution, in difficulties. For when I'm weak, then I'm strong. I am so excited to see what God is going to make out of all the young guys. James, Zach, Div. It's amazing. We had an epic men's service on Wednesday. It was cranking. I mean, it was absolute. Singing was great. To be honest with you, I think the young guys preach better than the old guys. Dave was like, did you say that's correct? Eric preached phenomenal. Like, everyone did good. But like, if you ask the guys, who do you remember? We remember Eric. Eric says, don't be window shopping. We all know what that means. We'll leave that with you. Dave absolutely talked about having a pure heart. And he talked about his Travis Scott tickets. You can ask him about that one. I leave that one with him. I think about James was talking about love. Short, nice, and sweet. Zach just killed us. Zach goes, when I'm shy, I don't really want to talk to people because I'm shy. That's sin. Why? I'm having a form of godliness but denying his power. I'm like, dang it. I was like, bro, man, like there's sin and then there's you. You just make it. I was like, bro, the Bible already convinced. I was like, dang. You know when someone gives you another level of being righteous? You're like, bro, why, man? Why open that door, bro? Like, just leave that door. I appreciate it. They laid it flat as it is. And I was like, genuinely impressed. Man speaking with conviction. That's awesome. Sometimes we go, because I sin, there's no longer any point in being a disciple. No, repent. You know what's interesting about the Bible? You can be forgiven of any sin. The one sin you can't be forgiven is blasphemy against the Holy Spirit, which is a hard heart. You read through the Bible, you see kings that sinned up greatly. But you know the consistent thing? That if they had, God was okay with them afterwards. This sin would always have consequences. So there's only going to be consequences. Repentance. David sinned. His quick repentance, understanding that he has sinned before God, God was okay. Yes, some would die, but I'll give you another one. Peter. I mean, what is a greater sin than denying Jesus? 3 times. When he told you that you would, and you said, nah, not me. When I get to heaven, Peter, man, bro, like, what audacity? What ferocity? What shameless audacity did you have to just, how, bro? And guess what? Jesus himself walked to him and reinstated him. All you need is repent. If someone quickly repent, that's it, move on. And we all trying to fight for the same thing and get each other to heaven? I think about people that failed to succeed initially but later succeeded. Walt Disney, the founder of Disney. We all love Disney movies. Was so broke that he said that he ate dog food at once to survive. You haven't eaten dog food yet, have you? You're rich, keep living your life. At one point, he was even fired because his editors felt like he lacked imagination and had no good ideas. That's the very Disney that we watch today. J.K. Rowling, the writer of the Harry Potter series. When she first submitted a manuscript of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone to publish, most publishers rejected her book. Even when it was accepted, the novel Rowling was advised by her editor that she ought to get a day job, as she would not be able to earn enough from writing to support herself. Look how wealthy she is now. Thomas Edison, the inventor of light bulbs, was told by his teachers he's too stupid to learn anything. People's opinion does not matter. Only God's opinion matters. He made 1,000 unsuccessful light bulbs before he finally succeeded. He goes, I didn't fail 1,000 times. The light bulb was an invention with 1,000 steps. And in conclusion, you got to be on your guard. Point 1, be on your guard against dishonesty and ingratitude. And then point 2, be on your guard against ungodly motives and self-pity. What really is it at the end? It's all about God and staying focused on Him. To God be all the glory.